Welcome back to another edition of Campus Report. Today, Saba Mohammad gives travelers helpful tips about new passport regulations.
Janelle Newman gives us an inside look at a local business that is helping people with AIDS.
Meghan White sits down with Adam Bencomo and discusses the possible return of the Sigma Chi Fraternity to the University of New Mexico.
And Travis Weber brings us some insight on the benefits of a downtown sports arena. I am Lawrence Gilligan.
And I'm Blaze Aldridge. Stay tuned for a new edition of Campus Report.
Student Perspectives at the University of New Mexico. From the KNME studios, this is Campus Report.
Travelers hoping to visit Canada or Mexico have one or more obstacles to go through at the airport. It's now mandatory to have a passport to re-enter the U.S. Saba Mohammad has the story.
Last November, the State Department announced new rules for travelers. The new rules mean that U.S., Canada, and Mexico citizens traveling by air must have a passport to enter or re-enter the United States from anywhere in the Western Hemisphere. The new rule, travelers have been forming lines at the post office and the Kinkos. The manager of the Kinkos, located on Princeton and Central, Deb Truesdale, says they've been getting a lot more people who are taking pictures for their passports.
Yeah, definitely. We've had probably on average about 4 or 5 passport photos a day, or taken the photos a day, compared to maybe 2 or 3. So it's probably doubled since they've implemented that rule.
Campus Report contacted the Albuquerque International Sunport and the Border Patrol, but both refused to comment. To obtain a passport for the first time, you need to go in person to the nearest post office facility with 2 2x2 passport photos of yourself, proof of U.S. citizenship, and a valid form of photo ID such as a driver's license. If you are renewing your passport, you will need to get a renewal application form by downloading it from travel.state.gov. And for more information, you can go to travel.state.gov. For Campus Report, I'm Saba Mohammad.
The Albuquerque area is already known for crime, but now some criminals have begun to take advantage of the city's new law regarding shoplifting. Under the recently enacted House Bill 80, the dollar amount that a perpetrator would need to steal to be charged with a felony was raised from $250 to $500. Nolan Flores, manager of Sunglass Hut in Albuquerque, says anybody caught stealing under $500 gets off the hook with only a petty misdemeanor charge.
My employees, or at least I, maybe even security, would try to apprehend these guys. But now, I mean, you take into account the price of the product with the safety of my employees as well as myself. Damn. You balance that out with the fact the guy's getting away with a misdemeanor ticket. There's no point.
Shoplifting doesn't only hurt retailers, it also hurts consumers who have to pay extra to make up for the stolen merchandise.
Since 1981, a disease that the public knew little about has killed more than 20 million people. This disease is AIDS. Janelle Newman went to the New Mexico AIDS Society to see what they're doing to help those living with AIDS.
According to the New Mexico AIDS Society, over 40,000 people die from AIDS every year. Brian Brown is an employee at the New Mexico AIDS Society. There are 5 ways that the disease is transmitted.
Semen, vaginal fluid, breast milk, blood, and anal fluid.
OraSure is the test that is used to detect the virus. It takes samples of a person's saliva.
Sizes.
Condoms, dental dams, and needles are free. There are many different kinds.
We even had condoms that are latex-free for those people who are allergic to latex.
Tana Armentrout is an employee at the New Mexico AIDS Society.
Sex workers.
The New Mexico AIDS Society has a needle exchange program.
We ask no questions. They're allowed to bring the syringes in, and we will give them a new syringe. We do not in any way, shape, or form condone drug use. But we feel that this is an important thing because a lot of AIDS cases or HIV is transferred through drug use.
Brown says the staff also puts together sex kits. These sex kits are handed out to prostitutes.
Be lesbian or could be heterosexual, but includes condom, lubrication flavored and non, a dental dam, and it has our testing information inside it as well.
Meals and Meds is a program that provides infected people with food, friends, and counseling. Armentrout says the people in the program can relate to each other.
They actually come here for a luncheon meeting, and they're able to discuss the medications that they're on and how it's affecting them, and just talk to each other.
The New Mexico AIDS Society displays art that their patients create. They are sold for profit,
There's even more.
although all the profit goes to the artists. Armentrout and Brown say that the clients find comfort and hope in their art.
AIDS, just to show that it's not a death sentence, you're not in bed, you can actually create beautiful pieces. A lot of people take their aggressions out through their art.
One of our artists and our clients, Todd Chapman, his art, he said, was his sanity.
The New Mexico AIDS Society is always in need of volunteers. People volunteer for alternate reasons.
And it's because I had some friends that passed from AIDS, but my son is a gay man. And it was very important to me that he had the education, that he understood that AIDS is out there.
Infected clients are not allowed to be filmed at the New Mexico AIDS Society without signing a written contract. Armentrout shares a poem that a client wrote which affected her.
When I think of friends who have gone before me, I vow with all beings to draw on the essence of who they were, and feel blessed that they have shaped who I am.
The programs at the New Mexico AIDS Society help patients who have financial and emotional hardships. A month's worth of medication could cost anywhere from $300 to over $2,000, but condoms and other forms of prevention are free at the New Mexico AIDS Society. This is Janelle Newman reporting.
Five years have passed since the Sigma Chi Fraternity was banned from campus, but the memories still remain. Sigma Chi crosses are still proudly displayed in the tiles and outside what is known as the Telos House for all to see. Sigma Chi was banned from the university campus in 2002 for a series of offenses ranging from racist acts, damaging property, and violating alcohol rules. Now the fraternity wants to come back. The students who live in the Telos House have mixed feelings about the fraternity, who wants to reclaim their house and leave residents who live in the house with no place to go. Earlier, Meghan White sat down with Adam Bencomo, a resident of the Telos House, to give his reaction.
Hi Adam, thanks so much for being here. How long have you lived at the Telos House?
I have lived at the Telos House since July 1st of this last summer.
What's your experience been like there?
It's been awesome. I've had a bunch of fellowship with a bunch of different people there. I've gotten to know different people, and some of my best friends actually live upstairs. So.
And what's the house's kind of feel like? Is it a Christian-based house, or what kind of faith is that? It is basically a dorm that is run by a church, like the Sandia Church of the Nazarene runs it, but not everyone is Christian. In fact, probably the majority is non-Christian. Okay, and Sigma Chi used to live there, and they were banned from campus, correct? Correct. So now they want to come back. What's going to happen when they come back to people like you who live in the Telos House? It's kind of sad for us because at the end of May we will have to move out, and we no longer will have a place to stay even on campus. And like for me, it's really convenient because I have 4 classes in Dane Smith, and it's really nice to live on campus. So it's just, we get the boot and that's it. Do you think that you might get a charter, or they might get the charter back and you be able to stay when Sigma Chi might not be able to come back? If they don't get their charter back, it's a possibility that the lease could be extended. So we do get to stay, and we do get to have more fellowship and time, where a lot of things that happen at the Telos House, like they used to offer swing dancing times, and now they're offering concerts, having just more social events over there. So it's a really great place. That's cool. Thank you so much for being here. Not a problem.
Albuquerque does not have a sports arena downtown like most other urban cities. Campus Reports' Travis Weber explains how a new sports arena would not only benefit sports fans, but it would also rejuvenate downtown Albuquerque.
Outside the pit, however, the next major venue is over 50 years old. Tingley Coliseum has been hosting special events in the Albuquerque area for over 50 years. Sam Bregman, a partial owner of the Albuquerque Thunderbirds, says that a new local downtown arena would not only help sports fans, but the city's economy as well.
Albuquerque. A downtown arena and the development of a downtown arena and event center would be fantastic for the Thunderbirds. I think it would regenerate the enthusiasm for sports downtown as well as rejuvenize downtown itself.
The Albuquerque Thunderbirds are a local minor league basketball team and also call Tingley their home. Team President Billy Widener's consensus is that a new sports venue would help the city.
That's probably the biggest thing that's missing out of our fan experience is the fact that, you know, our building doesn't really entice people. Nobody's going to come down to Tingley Coliseum on a Friday night and, oh, by the way, the Thunderbirds are playing.
The city is already home to a couple of new venues, Isotopes Park, which has rekindled the community's love for baseball, and the Rio Rancho Event Center. But still, even the new event center in Rio Rancho has its drawbacks.
The perception in this market is that it's a very long way to drive to the new Rio Rancho Event Center. And
would a nice state-of-the-art downtown arena give people the quality of life they want, and in a more central location? Former Lady Lobo and longtime sports fan Cristal Garcia.
It benefited greatly. I mean, I think everybody was always saying, well, downtown doesn't have any family-friendly entertainment or anything like that. I mean, a downtown arena would bring the city together. I mean, we've seen what Isotopes Park has done for the city.
So, with so much talk about the new arena, why hasn't the city taken the time to build one?
It's amazing to me, really. When I left here in '95, they were talking about building a nice indoor facility, and it still hasn't happened in 2006. And they're really, right now, they're starting on the process to get that done and to look at it in more in depth and get the ideas of what the different financial plans and things like that would be. But the fact is that it's still not built.
Bregman, a former city council member, says it's the planning and money that seems to get in the way.
You know, there's a lot of issues, and as a former city councilor, I can tell you there's a lot of issues that come forward on why some things happen or don't happen. One major reason is the cost. It's very expensive.
So what do fans have to look forward to in the near future? The options are limited. The history in the pit, the drive to Rio Rancho, or the Thunderbirds at Tingley.
The facilities are, you know, they're 50 years old, but Tingley has received a significant facelift since I left too. You don't walk through the roll-up door anymore.
Most cities put their major arenas downtown, acting as the heart of the city. Until Albuquerque gets organized enough to construct a new arena, that won't be the case in the Duke City. This is Travis Weber reporting.
We hope you enjoyed this edition of Campus Report.
We'll see you back here next show with more in-depth news.
I'm Blaze Aldrich.
And I am Lawrence Gilligan. Thank you for watching.